Today I'm going to show you how to use Sprkl with Kubernetes. So I have a cluster which is already running, and let's see, it's got some different services. It's got this e-commerce website running locally on my machine. I can also use different cloud clusters, anything you want, but this is just easy to show, so I'm using this on my Docker desktop. So let's go ahead and instrument this cluster with Sprkl. So the way to do that is just by running the Sprkl CLI, and I'm calling Sprkl kubectl apply. And now what this command does, it loads the Sprkl operator on this cluster, and from now on, every pod which will start will be automatically instrumented by Sprkl. So let's just go ahead and restart all the pods, so they will be automatically instrumented by Sprkl. So I'm going to do kubectl delete pods -minus all, and now all my pods are deleted. Let's just see that they actually restarted. So now they're terminating and they're restarting. And while this is happening, I'll just tell you that I'm using this utility called Tilt. It's kind of like a node mon for Kubernetes. And from now on, every change that I will make will be automatically updated or uploaded to my Kubernetes cluster. So now all my pods are restarting. Yes, and now they're ready to run. So first of all, what I need to do, or what I want to do, is I want to make a code change. I want to add some new functionality that will count this new metric of how many times buyers are placing orders on Saturdays and on weekdays. So I'll just add this new handler here. I just need to make sure that it's being called every time someone is placing an order. So I know it's happening from this URL. So I'll just add it here. So now I've actually made two different code changes. Let's see. The pods are updating. This is Tilt updating the different pods, and we updated metrics and orders. So these, I expect these two to restart. And great, now they have restarted. So I made a code change, and I expect it to be automatically instrumented by Sprkl. So let's go over to the Sprkl dashboard, and let's try to exercise or execute the code change. So to do that, I'm going to place a port forward for the front end of this application. This is the shop service. So I'll just place this port forward right here. And let's head over to the shop. So let's connect to the port forwarded port. So great, we logged into the application. We can also see that we're getting some traces here. So let's make an order. So let's order this shirt, for example. I'll proceed to checkout, and now the order has been placed. So we're getting this trace, but we can see that the dashboard is also populated, and everything that we'll be seeing here is related to the code change which I just made. So for example, I can see that I have an error, and it should be happening from my code. So let's go over and see that. So we have three different errors, and they're all happening directly from my code. So for example, we have this exception of converting a circular structure to JSON. I can go here and click this icon, and now I'm getting a trace showing me exactly how I got to this error. I can see the full flow and understand how it happened. I can click here and I can see exactly from which lines it happened. So let me look at it. I think I know what's happened here. And the problem is that metrics is circular and cannot be converted to JSON simply in a simple way. So I'll just help it do that. So let's just convert it. Let's just create a new variable called JSON and update the relevant fields. So we have the Saturdays counter, and we have the total counter. Let's just update that. Great, and let's make sure that we're sending JSON instead of metrics. This is pretty easy. So let's just make sure that the cluster has restarted, or that the relevant services have restarted. So metrics is restarting. Let's see, it's up and running. Great, so now metrics is already up. And so let's make another order, and let's see if it's working any better this time. So I'm gonna head to the start. Let's this time want to order this hat. So I'll just proceed to check out here. And now, great, This time it seems that there are no errors and transaction passed. I can click here and I'm getting full architecture view of the system. I can see the connection between the different entities, the different databases. I can see the interactions which were done, exactly which URLs were called. I can see which ones which are not even related to me. For example, I can see these SQL queries that were made, which are not necessarily related to any code change which I did. We have the coverage section, which shows us the different changed location. For example, I can see the different areas which I changed the code, and you can see which ones of them were not actually covered. So you can see that this time there was no, we didn't go into this if clause, and there was this time this catch did not happen. And also we have some insights because this code is not very optimal. And if you want to investigate any further and understand why it's not very optimal, then I encourage you to download and try Sprkl. We also have some vulnerabilities. Some of them are related to me. So for example, we have these vulnerabilities which happen directly from within my code. And there are also other vulnerabilities which did not happen from my code, and I can see them right here. And this is why they separate and we call it the global one, which are not necessarily related to me. But if I want to fix just what's related to my code, then I can see that I used Axios version 20 from the metrics handler, and this library contains a vulnerability. I can see exactly which functions I used, and I can see that I used them from Axios version 20, and so I can go ahead and fix that if I want to. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Have fun.